Okay, so I'm back in Adobe Fresco and I have my two handouts and I realize I need to rename them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these three dots and hit rename. And for this first one, I'm just going to call it like silver. I'll call it Fresco 1. Okay, and I'm going to call the second one rename. I'll call it silver Fresco 2. Eventually I'm going to be turning these back in. Okay, so I'll open up the first one and voila. Okay, so first thing before I do anything else, and this is important, I want you to understand a little bit about layers. So I'm currently working on a new layer right here, and if you're like, what are these layers you speak of? If you go to the top right hand corner of your iPad and you can see there's like the two arrows right there that kind of makes everything go away. Directly underneath that, if you have it so that the arrows are pointing outwards, there it looks like two pieces of paper almost, and if you click on it, that'll activate and open up your layers so you can see them. So currently I have 3 layers, and the cool thing about this is, let's say if I click on the one that has my worksheet and I click on the eyeball, it's not gone, it's just invisible. I made it disappear. The layer that's highlighted in blue is the one that's activated, and so if I come in here with a pixel brush, and you can see there's all these brushes here, and I decide to do one of my favorites, comics. Ooh, let's do halftone. Very cool. All right, and I'm going to give it a color. So I'm going to come over here and decide, I think I'll make it purple and drag this up so that the purple showing. Whatever you see, I don't know if you can see that there's a circle in the bottom left-hand corner of the toolbar. That's the color it's going to be. So currently it's set to black, now it's set to purple. So just because you set the color to say green, if it's set down here, it's going to appear as black or gray. So make sure you have it set to the right color that you want. So I set it to purple. And down here at the bottom, I can click on this and I can change my size of the brush. So I can make it bigger or smaller. I can also change its flow or opacity. Let's try this. In this case, it doesn't have opacity, and the smoothing. Lots of options here. So let's see what Pixel Brushes does. Check it out, man. Really cool. And if I decide to make a change to it, I can go back and I can erase part of it with the eraser tool, which also I can change the brush size, so I can cut through and do all kinds of things with. All right. So I'm going to try doing a couple of these brushes here. Let me see. Oops, still got to do the pixel brushes. So I'm going to go back from comics. You can see there's so many options here. It's a little overwhelming. I'm going to go to ink and just get a basic brush pen. Again, go to my colors. Let's try a different color. I'll try blue, and I'm going to reduce the opacity of that blue so that when I draw this, it's hard to tell. That's actually very kind of see-through, and I'll demonstrate it this way. So if I draw something over here, and I see how when I overlap, it gets darker because the opacity is changing. So that's neat. And so the idea behind this is you're going to pick 3 different brushes, and I would really recommend looking at all these different options. I got everything from painting all the way up to charcoal. One of my personal favorites is crosshatch. Oops, that's too big. Let me undo that. To undo, I went to the top right hand corner, and you can see there's 2 arrows. So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, and look at that. Oh, it's so cool. And if I pinch, you can see how that kind of shows up. Grab a different color, something, you know, maybe grab a slightly different opacity. So you want to change the opacity on these, you want to change the color. I could actually do an entire project with just this. This is so cool. Guys, I'm having too much fun playing around. Look at that, so cool. Okay, and let me zoom out. And so you're going to use different lines, different colors, size, opacity, and brush type in all 3 of those. Have fun with the pixel brushes. Those are awesome.